it hurts when you see someone who's been engaged in hate speech against Jewish people use this opportunity for purely political purposes, and that's what it was. We need someone in this office who understands what we have to do to make sure that people are better educated, have more money in their pockets, and to make sure that they're healthier. And Josh Stein is the guy who can do that. I think most North Carolinians don't spend a lot of time thinking about the fringes of political parties or the far right or left. They care about making sure that their parents and grandparents are looked after, that their kids get a good education, that they can get a better paying job. And we need somebody who's focused on the ground, working to make those things happen instead of trying to whip up their political base with hate speech. And that's what you have with the lieutenant governor now.
What does that look like as far as what you'll do this coming year to campaign for Stein and to prevent Robinson from bailing?
So I'm certain that I will attend events with him, and I will be talking with people, just as I'm talking with you today, about what I believe would be his ability to lead this state in a reasonable, balanced way. I hired him years ago to serve as my consumer protection chief when I was Attorney General, so I got to see him firsthand, how he works, and I got to see his real love for North Carolina families and being unafraid to stand up to the big corporations to try and help everyday people. And I saw him work in the state Senate, and of course the job I used to have as Attorney General. He's done an extraordinary job there. So I'll be getting the word out about how we need to continue the progress, because when you look, we have expanded Medicaid. We are, for 2 years in a row, the #1 state for business. We're the third fastest growing state. We've become a clean energy epicenter where we're going to have great paying jobs out into the future for people to have. That's amazing progress for North Carolina. It's very positive for people, and we need someone to continue that, not spend time spewing hate speech and playing to the fringes of party politics.
How else do you plan to spend this coming year? Because this will be, the final year in your 2 terms. Is there another big hurdle, like, getting over Medicaid expansion, or is it something else, other priorities?
I think implementing these federal funds to get roads and bridges fixed, and to make sure we're connecting every family and every business to high speed. North Carolina had already had the foresight to start this. And we had tens of millions of dollars that we were putting toward it. Now we have billions of dollars to put toward it. So we can actually make it happen on the ground. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time making sure that we are implementing this in the right way, the most effective and efficient use of taxpayer money to help things for generations to come. When do you get that opportunity? Now is that time. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time doing that. And as I mentioned earlier, lifting up public education and making sure that we're paying attention to our public school students, trying to attract the best teachers and principals in our public schools, and getting our business community invested in it, because this is their workforce. This is what they tell me is their most important concern, is will I have the well-trained, dedicated, diverse people to perform all of these jobs that we're creating in North Carolina. And they are coming fast and furious, and it's exciting. We have tremendous momentum. But if we forget the people that we're going to need to fill all the jobs, and that's going to be problematic. And I think that this is where we've seen a tremendous difference in my vision for public school students and the legislature's vision.
Well, how are you going into this short session, knowing that, it's not going to have as many opportunities for legislation, but with the supermajority? You've worked together with Senator Berger on things in the past. Speaker Moore is now running for Congress. How are you looking at this last session, working with them?
We want them to pay more attention to public school students. And I'm hoping that as this is an election year, there's hundreds of thousands of families in this state who care deeply about our public schools. I'm hoping that they will want to do more, and I'm hoping that some of our businesses and community leaders will push them into doing more. And I hope they stay away from this legislation that is so divisive. I hope that they stay away from more abortion bans and cultural wars in our public schools. We don't need that kind of thing. We'll have to see what happens, and we will work to try and stop it. There will be some Republicans who are in tough elections, and they may very well want to stay away from that stuff. So I hope they do.
This is the last one, though.
Okay. Are you going to be involved in, you did endorsement in the Democratic primary last session? Are you going to do that again at that level when Democrats are running against each other?
So I've pretty much stayed out of primaries. There have been a couple of unusual situations, one of them being Josh Stein in this governor's race. I've known him for 20 years. But the great thing is we've got an amazing array of Democratic candidates that are running council of state, judges, in state legislatures across North Carolina. I don't anticipate getting into primaries.